My name is Louise Jones. This is a studio where I do painting in the Courthouse in Neepawa. Second floor if you want to come see the display. These are some of the paintings that I will be displaying out in the courtroom. The owl, that's my husband's request. And a very disgruntled seagull. This was an effort at learning to paint water, and its many beautiful reflections. Under here, I have a painting I did, I call it Entertainment. I had carved that chain, and I was going to get rid of it. I thought, well, if I paint it, then I can just get rid of it. I don't need to save it. Well, I did it in front of a set of speakers, and I realized that we get sometimes chained to our entertainment, so that's why I call it Entertainment. This bird I ended up doing in this painting. There is a story, a thought behind that, but I'll just let people figure that one out yourselves. This is the project I'm going to be doing this in a paint class with some seniors. That's what I'm doing for my husband on request. He sometimes puts in a request. This bird, or bear, I have painted a few times. Well, go out and look at the display. I did this one because I was struck by the movement of things by forces we can't see, and was intriguing to me enough to paint it. I call this Sunfire Field. I did it sitting outside by a field of sunflowers outside of Neepawa. This was a commission I did for a lady, and I liked it so much when I gave it to her, sold it to her, ended up doing another one for myself. And this one, I do have titles for some of these, that actually says, the Word became flesh. It's funny that people seeing that assume it's a Bible, which it could be, but the idea behind that one is that even as we get elderly and weak, we understand more the need than ever of something that is strong as the Word. And He took on our weakness, He understands weakness. I decided to do a painting of each of my children in some pursuit of theirs, particularly their feet. So this is one when he was mountain climbing with running shoes. That's actually the paraglider bag on his back because he was carrying it for his brother, who had been thinking of doing some paragliding off the top. I'm glad he didn't. And the girl who was doing a biking trip across quite a few miles. And this is the son using the paraglider. He's over Hong Kong. Of course, I wasn't there to see it. I did work from a photo for that one. This is a study of this bird that I did in the other painting. Sometimes I do a study first, just to see if I can capture what I'm trying to capture, and then I go ahead and do the larger painting. This is also was a study for a painting I did. I wanted to try and do sheep. I just did any goofy background in, but I ended up liking it, so I kept it. This is another painting of the feet of one of my sons, when he was quite a bit younger than he is now. I like the effort of catching snow. So now we're out in the courtroom. This is the bear in one of the paintings I did of him sitting in a willow bench my daughter made outside my garden. I like painting outside. gives me a better idea of the colors I'm supposed to use. This is a painting I've done for one of my granddaughters. Her father works for the railroad, and I bought this little toy for her from a garage sale. So I decided to do her a painting that matches. And this one started out as a totally different painting, but I never could capture what I was trying to capture, so I kept altering it until this is what I ended up with. I did this because I was watching my son in a marathon in Beaver Flats in Saskatchewan, and some girls were playing around in the grass. I took their picture, and that one was playing with this strange little toy. I made the mistake of trying to put it into the painting, but it's just so strange, although that's what kids do. This was just an effort to see if I could do, it's almost like a no-tan, certainly limited palette, where you try to do just your values, and instead of using color and relying on color to make the picture. If you get good values in your paintings, you don't need color, or you can use any kind of color you like. But I never have added. I may sometime add color to this. I just haven't decided which ones. This one I just did recently. Of a stuffed animal I purchased at a thrift store for a grandchild, but I thought he looked good in the tree. And I really like birds, so especially ravens. I did this and ended up making it for a wedding present for my nephew. He's lent it to me to display here for now. I know ravens they're scavengers, but I am fascinated with their shape and their nature. So we'll go over to this other side. A niece's horse, when they were on a trek with their horses. I actually did that for her, and then I liked it. I wanted to keep it for myself, so I made another one. That's the second one. I don't like to repeat too much, but every once in a while I do. Just playing around at pigs, doing pigs. This one I call Hiding. I was struck by the modesty, or the ladies in this painting busily going about doing their work without being boastful about it or showing off in any way. They're just quietly doing their very hard work. That's from up in the Northwest Territories. A picture I did for my son who does underwater sports. He enjoys being under there, and he took this picture. So I did it for him. I'm not a water person myself, but I was taken. I do like turtles, and I like the colors in that one. When I was in Minnedosa during a flood, the buffalo, I don't know if I'd call them buffalo or bison, but they were there in a fence. I thought I'd like to paint those. I got out with my camera, and as I was standing there, they charged the fence. Well, one did. And so I quickly stepped back, but I decided I'd like to paint that. So that painting is actually the same one in two different stances that it was in the video. And it wasn't actually that color. I took some liberties with the photo. This one isn't done yet. I just stuck it up on the wall because I need a place for it. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to, has no story. So I'm probably going to pull it off the wall and do some more. I've been also doing rocks. This one is actually egg tempera and felt pen. I put verses on each one. And I don't know if you can read that. This one is from wrapping paper, actually. So it had a little more detail to it. I think this is oils. Yes. From the, I put that little doll down on the rocks by our riverbank. This one I don't really like, but I stuck it up here anyway. Someday I'll be able to do lilies in that way that is fitting for what they really, how beautiful they really are. Some more rocks. I had finches, I still do. My husband put some grass in their cage, and in a day they had made a beautiful nest. I'm really taken by their ability to do art. More rocks. And I call this one Hope because inside each one of those balls, I read that there's 30,000 seeds. I can't believe that, and I haven't counted, but I know there are a lot. And out of each one of those seeds comes a whole new plant with many balls, with many seeds in them. That's egg temper too, and felt pen. Everybody around Manitoba understands a winter scene when they see one. And of course, Manitoba, you have to paint crocuses. That was in a container on the windowsill. And this one just struck me. I kind of took liberties with it. This is egg temper too. I was just playing around to see what they would do, what I could do with them. There actually is some watercolor in there too. Daniel Smith is what I use. I think the yellow mostly, because I don't have egg tempera in yellow. This is my last one that's up here. And a painting that I did quite some time ago. I've done several copies of this one different ways. And I was taken by how beautiful the poppy looks in no matter what stage it's in its life. That's I did this for a lady who was about 80 at the time. She lived to be 101, I believe, or 2. And before she died, she gave it back to me, so here it sits. And that's the display as it is at the present. I plan to change out paintings from time to time, just to have something interesting for people to come and see. So if you're in Nipawa and you want to come up to the courthouse, the place is open during business hours, and I'm usually here in the evening. I'd be happy to see you then. Thanks for watching.